You're
You're
welcome back to the On the Fence podcast, where we're commanding the conversation with the voices of Fan Nation. That's all you lovely people out there. Today we are joined by a special guest, right? You know, greatness, we see all of the lights, we see all of the stuff that shows up on field, but before you get a chance to see all of that, it starts at home. And today we have a special guest, somebody who had a front row at seeing some greatness that's unfolding in front of all of our eyes right now in the fan base, and that's Josh Conerly Sr. What's going on, my good man? How are you? Welcome to the show.
Doing good, man. Thanks for having me.
We appreciate you for taking the time to spend with us today, man. We're looking forward to chopping it up with you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Have at it.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, before we start, we could talk about Joshua Jr. all day, but we want to get a little bit of know-how on you, man. Tell us about yourself, bro.
Yeah, I'm born and raised in Seattle, Washington. Grew up, had a brother, sister, mom and dad household, and graduated high school. Had plans on, going to college, but Joshua came along, so I had to tighten up and get a job. So I went and got on with the United States Postal Service, and I carried mail for about 20 years before I switched over to building maintenance. That's what I'm doing now. So, I carried mail and raised Joshua, had him and his sister, and had three more after him. And man, just doing the parent thing, and provided, took care of them, and that's about it.
That's love, man. That's beautiful. Seriously, hearing all of that, because not everybody gets a chance to know what happens behind these players. I think a lot of people just see on Sundays, but they kind of forget about the human and how much players are just like you and I. So that's beautiful to hear that, man. I'm happy to hear that you had a very humble beginning, and that explains why your son is very humble.
Oh yeah, Joshua, he's solid, man. He puts the work in, and he's a grinder for sure. He's seen me put in those, 10, 12-hour days, 6 days a week, only having Sundays off. And, that's where we spent most of the time, just watching some football, kicking back. And that's sort of what grew his passion for football, just that time we spent on Sundays watching football, But yeah, he picked up a lot of that work ethic from me, from what he has said and he told me. So
That's awesome.
That's
awesome.
amazing, man. Hey, listen, the apple don't fall too far from the tree, as they say, right?
That's right.
I'm actually a junior myself. I'm named after my father, so we have something in common there. And with that being said, it's that humanized, aspect. The fact of the matter is, the work ethic, who he was. But one of the main things I wanted to touch on really quick was Josh's basketball background. Where did that start and where did it end? Like where exactly did it start? I know we talked about a little earlier when you said in 8th grade he was 6'1" already, but go ahead and tell the people a little bit about his basketball background.
So Joshua, he truly loved football from the beginning, and I think he was about 4 when I took him out to try out for the 5th grade team, or the the 5-year-old, 6-year-old. He was too young, but he had the size. They said, give him one more year. So probably 5, 6, he started playing football. And then when I'd say 3rd grade is when he started getting into hoop. So he was a little late bloomer to hoop, because a lot of kids start, around kindergarten, 1st grade. 3rd grade, he started playing basketball, and he loved it. But that transition from football to basketball was tough. This dude was getting technical fouls and, tearing people up, not understanding, like, you got to be a little bit more finesse. You can't be out there just slamming people and running into people. It was like almost every other game, a parent was coming up to me about something, and whose kid is this? And I'm like, oh, Joshua, man, like, you got to calm down just a little bit. Oh, here we go. Say hi.
There it is.
This is Mariah. This is baby girl. All right, go inside real fast, okay? I'll be in there in a minute. Jordan, you want to say hi?
Sure.
Say hi.
Hi.
So Jordan,
Yep, that's Jordan. Okay. All right, go inside for a little bit. I'll be in there in a little bit, okay? Yeah, those are the two that didn't travel with us when we came out on that first visit. So
Okay.
those are the babies he was talking about. Those are his little siblings. So
Nice. Nice. Yeah, Josh
yeah,
is the oldest of 5, right?
he's the oldest of 7. So I had him and his sister, and then my wife. She had a daughter that I've been raising since she was 2, and me and my wife have 3 now. And Joshua's mom has a son. So
Okay.
there's 7. There's 7 total, but in my household, I got 6.
Gotcha.
That
So
that speaks a lot. Sorry, Kenny, but that speaks a lot to whenever I see Joshua approach interviews and everything like that. He's just so mature at such a young age, and I think peeling that back is kind of making sense now because that he's a grown man. Baby face
Yeah,
aside, right?
Joshua, yeah, Joshua was a born leader, man. Joshua, he's always
Yeah.
been very mature, and he got a goofy side to him, and it takes a lot to get it out of him, but
Mhm.
he's definitely, I'm so thankful that he is setting that bar high with all his siblings, and they all know it, and that's their hero, man. I couldn't ask for a better like oldest son.
That's
that's
love,
beautiful.
man.
Very, very proud of him. Yeah, he's a good kid, man. He's a good sibling. He takes care of all his siblings, man. Birthdays, he'll fly back home. I mean, during the season it's a little tough, but
Mhm.
Jordan, it's his birthday on Monday, so he's turning 8. Joshua's coming home Thursday to come be with him, and for Mother's Day, of course,
Mhm.
But he made it, he makes it, a priority to get home, spend a day with them, call them all the time, FaceTime him, how was school, how you guys been, what's going on. He checks up on them, constantly. So couldn't ask for a better son.
That's dope,
Nice.
man. That's
Beautiful.
love. So, so
Absolutely, man.
So we were talking a little bit about him transitioning on the court. Kenny asked that question on there.
Uh-huh.
I,
Yeah.
when I was doing my research, I found out that he used to play running back.
So Joshua, when he was in Little League, and I'll send you guys a YouTube clip from back in Pee Wee days, but yeah, he ran the ball, and I call him Juice. The name came from OJ.
Okay.
Yeah.
Juice.
So if you see Juice or hear Juice, that's where it came from.
Fan base, y'all hear that? Juice. That might be the new nickname for JC, man.
That's it. We're gonna have to call him Juice now, man.
You might have to call him
That's Juice
Juice.
Man.
So we were just talking about Juice. So
Yeah,
Joshua, you gave him the nickname Juice.
yeah. So Joshua, he's been playing football since kindergarten, and he probably started running the ball probably about fourth grade all the way to 8th grade, and then once he got to high school, 6'1", um, bigger than all the other kids. He had to get on that. They put him in at tight end. He played well, tight end, D end, and then he kept growing, kept getting bigger. They put him at left tackle because his freshman year, a lot of the seniors graduated, and we didn't have no line. So they put him at left tackle and and then DN. And then after DN, he went inside to D tackle, and he was a beast at defense too. He could have went either way. There was a lot of people recruiting him that wanted him at defense too, but
Wow.
his
Interesting.
body and his arm length, that's what that sort of sold him
Mhm.
on offensive tackles. So yeah, he did run the ball, but after high school, that's when, he kept growing, kept getting bigger, and that was it.
That's
Mm.
dope. I think the fan base might have just got a new nickname for him with Juice.
Juice, yeah,
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 they
yeah.
might,
I'll
they
I'll
they probably might
I'll
have run
I'll
with that.
I'll send you guys the YouTube video of him in 8th grade, and you'll see.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All
Look,
right. All
we
right.
looking forward to that. We looking forward to that.
Yeah. Oh
Now,
yeah.
now let me ask you this. So growing up in Seattle, right? Rainier Beach, right?
Uh-huh.
Legendary as far as athletic pedigree, like the likes of Jamal Crawford, you played there. What was that atmosphere like, raising a top tier athlete in such a community?
Couldn't ask for nothing better, man. Rainier Beach community, South Seattle, very supportive when it comes to kids that want to do right and
Mm-hmm.
set a good role model for other kids. You know, it's the love is just till this day, man. He goes back to games and supports, and
It's amazing.
he walks in there like he's just a normal person, you know. So everybody does, you know. You'll see Nate Robinson, you'll see
Mm-hmm.
DeJounte Murray, you know, Kevin Porter Jr., Jamal Crawford. Those
Mm-hmm.
guys, they just walk in like, you know, and you
All
know
dogs.
yeah, and you know, they walk in, and you know, for us, it's just like, oh, it's them, you know, and it's always love. But you'll see the opposing team, you know, they'll come over wanting autographs, wanting pictures, and but for us, they're just family, you know.
Yeah.
So, and for
Yeah.
him, he loves coming home. He loves to support. You know, we just had the number one ranked basketball player in the nation, and
Yeah.
you know, there was a clip of them, you know, showing Josh was showing him some love. He had a good like game winning basket or something, and Joshua, you know, gave him a big handshake, a hug. I'm like, yeah, see, that's what it's about, man. But yeah,
Yeah.
Rainier Beach community, man, it's pretty tight knit, and there's a
Cool.
lot of talent that comes out of that area.
Yeah, man. I mean, some of those names that you just rattled off so casually, like those are all straight dogs too,
Oh
and they're
man,
just guys in the neighborhood.
and
That's crazy.
and they set the bar for the up and coming, you know, and that's
Mm.
what I love. You know, the kids, they have somebody that they can look up to. Now, if you want to go the right route, it's right there, you know.
Mhm.
Mm.
And unfortunately, you know, some stray going other ways, but I would definitely say a lot of Joshua's, you know, influence and just seeing like it's possible with those guys coming back, you know, and they've always came back, all of them, you know, and it's a special place for sure. Rainier Beach is very special.
Most deaf, man. It's beautiful for kids, the youth, to have examples of people who are actually doing it because once you can see somebody doing it, you know it's possible. So I'm happy to
Yeah,
hear that.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, being an educator myself, that's always something that means a lot to me, you know, trying to exist in those spaces just to kind of show kids anything is possible and just really kind of push them towards the
yeah,
positive things and seeing a little bit more of themselves. So that's dope.
yes, sir.
Yeah. So speaking of education, you mentioned that some schools did want Josh to go defense. Speaking of just schools in general, how was it navigating through all those offers? Because I can imagine it was a lot. And how did you all end up at the decision to go to Oregon?
Man. So during his recruitment, we had COVID, and
Oh,
he didn't get to really go on any he didn't get to go on
Visits.
any visits until maybe 3 months. No, I think it was starting in January of 22. That's when we could start
wow.
taking visits.
Mm.
So he was a late commit, and because he didn't get to go visit no places. He talked to a lot of these guys on the phone, you know, via Zoom, you know, FaceTime. We got a bunch of mail all the time, you know, but once we got to go sit down and visit and talk with these coaches, that's when he found, you know, sort of a different type of feel with Coach Lanning coming in new, and um, everything that he promised and committed to, he fulfilled. And
Mm.
that's one thing I just wanted throughout, you know, Joshua's college experience. And some kids, you know, they hit the portal and, you know, but I don't think
Mhm.
Joshua was sold a dream. And if he could do it all over again, I think that's exactly what he would do. And I left it up to him 100%, you know. Um, I was just proud of him making it to college, you know.
Yeah.
He could have went to any college. I would have been happy. So for him to
Yeah.
pick Oregon, it was close to home. He still got the college feel, but close enough and far enough to get a college experience, you know, because Washington
Mm.
recruited him heavy. And, you know, we got a lot of slack for that, for him going to Oregon, and it's a big rivalry, and
Uh-huh.
and I understand all that, but I don't have no loyalty to no college. I went to high school, so
Yeah.
Right.
that's always where I stood. And Joshua, hey Dad, I was like, hey son, it's up to you, man. Wherever you're at, I'm going. So,
Hey, that's
and it made it nice because I didn't miss. I've never missed any, little league games, high school games, college games. Just
Mhm.
recently, getting all the way over, to the East Coast, it's been a
That's a
little
lot.
challenging, with the work and the kids and still
mhm.
having family. So it's not as close. So I said, Jay, I'll get to some of them, but I can't get to all of them. He's like, Dad, I'm good. But I did make it to quite a few. So, and all the love out there has been amazing.
Yeah,
That's
DC
amazing.
is DC is a vibe for sure.
for sure. Yo,
Absolutely. I
next
mean,
time you're out here, you got to come tailgate with us.
For sure.
it
I'll be
is.
there. First game. I'll be there.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
Yeah, man. Go Lot D31. We have one of the biggest tailgate
Mhm,
experiences, and it's a staple. Our uncle, Redskin Mike, as we call him,
mhm.
Mike Holmes. He's like a
Gate
legendary
commander.
fan. Yeah, exactly. He's a legendary fan in the community, and we have a really dope tailgate experience. You,
Mhm.
sure enough, are invited. So we'd love to have you.
I'm ready
Um,
for this schedule to get released so I can start booking these
Man,
flights, man.
absolutely,
seriously.
absolutely.
Thankfully for you, we
Yeah,
got a couple games on the West Coast this year.
Thank
yeah,
God.
right.
I mean, I went
We
to the
do.
LA game and
That
then
was bougie.
we're playing the Seahawks twice there. I'm like, why couldn't we get one over here? And it made my commuting a little easier, my little travel plans, but it's all
Right.
good.
Understood.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, I mean, through that, we're going to transition into life in the burgundy and gold, right? I want you to walk us through that moment where the phone rang, 202 area code, 301 area code, 703, whatever DMV area code had came through for Josh. What was those first words exchanged between you and your son?
Man. You know, it was sort of surreal because I always knew this day would come, but until it came, it was sort of like just the whole day going into it because I worked that day. I came home, got the house together because we did it at home. He
Mhm.
didn't want to go, he didn't want to go travel. He didn't want to go. He wanted to be home with his people. So
Love
I
it.
had to get the house together. I had to paint, had to, get it looking right. I'm just like, come on, Jay. So, it was getting later, in the first round, and I could sort of see a little disappointment just because of some of the teams that he did talk to. And later, to come find out, a lot of it just had to do with sort of players that are on the board and having the priority. But some things, if some things lined up differently, he would have went a little earlier. But for him to go 29 to the Commanders, and um, I mean, everybody, the organization is solid, man.
Mhm.
I know
Mhm.
the season didn't go as planned, and the expectations were really high, and for him to come in um, playing a different position is sort of
Mhm.
and that's they were very honest. They said, look, you're coming in to play right tackle, and that was on the that was they had that conversation that first day, and he's like, Dad, I gotta tie these boots up and get to work. I'm like, all right, so that transition, I think it I wouldn't say it weared on him, but it it was a lot.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, the phone call, man, it was surreal. It was man, life changing. You
Yeah,
know, I
I can
I
feel it
just
off of you.
like dream come true. Like everyone doesn't have or everyone doesn't find their passion something that they
Mhm.
truly like want to do, but for him to make it to the highest level of football and man, I'm just just happy, man. It was like a big relief.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So and
Yeah,
then to
just
come
seeing.
Yeah, it was special, man. It was surreal and special for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nah,
man,
just
it's
seeing
showing.
that come to yeah, it does. Like I'm just saying, just seeing you talk about it, like I could feel the emotion. I'm kind of getting goosebumps. It's almost like I
It,
got drafted. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's once in a lifetime opportunity and experience. I'm just I'm so happy, man. Like
as you should be,
You're a
man.
proud
As you
father,
dream,
man.
should
You
dream,
be.
should
As you
be.
dream
should
come
be.
true. Like that's all you want out of your kids. Like live out your dreams, and for him to live it so young and have such a bright future. And I know the work he's putting in and he's gonna put in.
Hmm.
And I'm not saying nothing. I'm not, I don't get in my feelings, but Joshua is a dog.
Yes,
Like
he
that
Yes,
work,
is.
it is.
I know it firsthand. Joshua is a
Yeah,
dog. So, you
yeah.
know, give him some time, man. Be patient.
Yeah,
I mean,
listen, not even from you, but the first person that we knew from the outside looking in from a fan is when Tunsil stamped that. When
Yeah.
Laremy
yeah,
Tunsil said it first, he said, Josh is a dog. He said, that's the last thing you got to worry about. Then
Yeah.
also, he's been working with him the last couple of off seasons. We
Uh-huh.
just saw a photo of him. You could tell he's growing into his NFL
hmm
body. Like I saw him
Yeah.
in the weight room and I said, look, I said, man, you could see the growth and the transition. And Tunsil said, you work with me, you're going to get a big back, just like
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. 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 Laramie, man, I couldn't ask for a better person for him to follow behind. And, as professionals, as men, we sort of like, I could imagine they get in their, egos but man, he's been solid, man. He's welcomed Joshua with open arms and he's been a huge part of his development and just being a pro, like how to move, how to go about your day, how to eat. Like there's so much more that just goes into being a professional. And he's been a true man. I couldn't ask for a better, person for him to come under. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm
Absolutely.
real happy with that.
that's awesome. I mean, just before we move on, talking about Joshua being a dog. I mean, he played 1,054 snaps. That's 13th amongst all tackles. He only allowed 8 sacks, 43 pressures, and only 13 penalties in his first year in a new position. Like that's
Well,
impressive.
and I think that's a lot of it, with the new position. And there's no excuses. It wasn't the
Mhm.
best. I'm not, but as far as work ethic, you couldn't ask for more besides it being a little cleaner. And
Yeah,
Yeah,
we saw it each week.
we we gon' we gon'
got
we
better.
gonna get that we gonna get that right. He's his worst critic, man. There's nobody that can tell him you're this, you're that. Like, look,
Mhm.
he knows what he got to do, and he's gonna do it. So,
You said it though. He knows he's his worst. He's his own worst critic. Ain't nothing nobody could tell him. Like he's gonna keep working.
yeah,
Yeah, man. Like, but to your point, we saw it as a fan base. Each week he got better. Like, regardless of going up against the best pass rushers, like he played against Michael Parsons, Max Crosby. Like, how did it feel seeing your son go up against these big name guys?
man, it was nerve wracking because I was in Green Bay for that game. I was out in I was out there for the Raiders game, and I'm thinking, dude, please just hold your own.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
know, it was what it was. But I know that once he comes like into his own, like once he really becomes like full man, grown man strength, oh, it's
Mhm.
gonna be over, man. My boy's 22. He's like still developing. I didn't even have a beard or mustache like until I was like 24, 25. So I'm like, just give it some time, man. I don't even think
Baby face.
he still ain't even stopped growing. So I'm
True.
like,
Right.
Jay, don't even trip, bro. He's like, Dad, I know.
Yeah. I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I love how chill he is, man.
He's cool,
He's
man.
cool, always even
Cool
keeled,
cat.
man.
He's cool as a fan, man. He's a good, level-headed, humble dude, man.
Mm-hmm. So we talked a bit about his relationship with Laremy. Did he share any advice that Laremy gave him beyond like the eating and how to handle himself? Did he share anything specific?
No, nothing. No, no.
All right.
He 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 tends to keep a lot. I wouldn't say a lot, but he doesn't really speak on what he got going on or his
That's dope.
relationships.
Yeah, speaking like a true pro.
Yeah. There's nothing in that I can really think of that he said that just mainly just eating right, training right, um, just take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm. That's love.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, like, I mean, well, I asked you this as far as life in DC for him, transitioning from the West Coast. How has he adjusted, to the East
Mm-hmm.
Coast? Is there any like funny stories that maybe you can touch on about him trying to, navigate and find a seat, maybe navigate a DC traffic, or I don't know, a meal that he may normally have on the West Coast that he found on the East Coast, or just his adjustment? Is anything he shared with you?
I think I think it's them damn tolls out there, man. I think them
Oh, in
tolls
Virginia,
and
it's
that
crazy.
traffic and how everything is sort of spread out,
Mm-hmm.
and how close everything is on the East Coast. In Washington, in Seattle, all we have is Portland. Portland's like 2 hours away.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's, Portland from Seattle's about, 150, 160 miles. You can do that in like, 2.5, 3 hours. He's like, Dad, sometimes it takes me 2 hours just to get to the stadium. And he was staying in
Yeah.
Ashburn last season. So,
Yeah.
the I think the time out there, and then sometimes his siblings will try to go to bed at 10 or 11. Out there, it's 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, so it's like
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
you guys can't be calling me. I'm trying to get my rest. So that time difference there, um, and then let me see. Far as food, he gets most of his stuff meal prepped,
Okay.
and he does like oh, what's kava? The
Oh,
kava spot?
Kava.
Kava.
We
Yeah,
don't we
yeah,
don't yeah, we don't have that out here, so he
yeah.
got
Yeah.
me he got me hip to that. Kava, and then Texas Roadhouse. We ain't got none of those over here
Okay.
neither. So,
Okay.
All
and the
right.
Raisin
Yeah.
Canes, yeah, but
Raising
Yeah.
Cane's
yeah.
okay.
We just got some Raisin Canes. We just started getting those, but the kava, he loves
Okay.
kava, man. That's his
Man, we,
spot.
we love Kava too.
Yeah.
Kava's
Kava is
Kava's
good.
fire.
It
It's
is. It
good.
is. I mean, have y'all been to the Tapa spot? Because Kava actually, before it was the fast casual, it had like a small sit down Tapa style restaurant.
They did.
That's where, and
Uh,
then they branched out. Yeah, it's pretty good.
okay. Yeah, you guys
Yeah.
got to get me hip next time I'm
Oh, we
out there.
got you. We
Yeah.
got you. We
Gotcha. Don't
got you.
worry.
Yeah.
so so Josh, I mean, I've been really enjoying hearing about your son, but it seems like he's very thoughtful. And one of the things that really stood out to us was during the My Cause My Cleats, he chose the Think Twice Foundation. Could you tell us why he may have chosen that? Is there anything specific, or was this just something that he felt like was the right thing to do?
He just, Joshua, he's his own man. And far as the reason why he chose that, I didn't really go into deep detail or ask him about it. So I'm not sure, but I know it means something to him for him to pick that. Far as the reason why, I don't know. That's something you would have to
Mhm.
ask him. But yeah,
Yeah.
Joshua, he's all about foundations and nonprofits to help
Mhm.
people. You know, he's big
Absolutely.
on all of that. So
That's dope. That's
And
dope.
for all the fans out there, the Think Twice Foundation is focused
Mhm.
on impaired driving prevention.
yeah,
So that's what the whole foundation is around. So that's the reason why, I mean, it was very thoughtful,
It stood out to me.
of him. It just stood out, because not everyone chooses that foundation,
hmm
especially for My Cause, My Cleats. So it was just dope, to see that, and him pick that particular foundation, Think Twice.
yeah,
Absolutely. So, I mean, we're going to start. We're going to transition. We're going to set the stage for 2026. Everything. From his college career to his rookie year, but now going into a sophomore season. There's been an emphasis, in terms of this 2026, off season. I think it's going to be a huge, step for
Mhm.
for Junior here, and he showed a massive improvement in the second half of the season of his rookie year. You could tell
Yeah.
game by game, he just kept getting better and better and better. It was obvious statistically, but also if you just turn on the film, you could see that he's just becoming more and more comfortable within the position. So, I mean, as far as his training regime, what do you think that's looked like as far as, going into the spring to prepare, for summer and mini camp and everything that would be led? What do you think his training regime has it changed? Did he do anything different this year? Considering that we're coming out of his rookie year to a sophomore season, did anything change for him?
I think the emphasis on just building muscle, getting bigger,
Mhm.
you know, um, eating right. I think a lot of he's not a big eater, surprisingly, and I think that's
Oh,
sort of a huge part of what's going on now. Is just you got to get that weight up. You
Mhm.
got to build that strength, and of course it comes, with maturity and just growing as a man. But I mean, it's right now. It's time to
Yeah.
bulk up, and I think that's sort of what he's focusing on, and working more with just building strength, not heavyweight, but just consistent lightweight. Just
Mhm.
yeah.
a lot more of it. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I'm
you don't
I'm
get a. You're gonna say sorry.
man, I'm fired up. I can't wait to see what he puts out there this season.
Mhm.
Mm,
Likewise, I
It'll
was
as
gonna
we all
say.
it'll be a lot different from last season, man. He
Oh
he
yeah.
he understands the game a lot more just with what that one season was under his belt. And through
know.
the adversity, losing some games, winning some games, having a quarterback injured, working through injuries,
Yeah.
he's he's ready, and I can't wait. I wish the game was tomorrow. I wish the season
I
started
know.
like right now. So
Yeah,
I'm
man.
fired up. I know he's ready. I know he's ready to put what all the work behind closed doors. Let it show, and that's what he's
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Nah.
I mean, considering the fact that, we're transitioning into a new offense, I think that this offense will be don't get it twisted. I know Cliff wanted him, but Cliff is no longer our OC.
Yeah,
In terms of, Josh, but I believe more than anything, this pro style offense is going to fit him like a glove in terms of because it doesn't leave you as much out on an island like how
Mhm.
Cliff's um, college style offense, I
Mhm.
would say, quote unquote, the air raid system. It doesn't leave him out so far out on an island. Everything is a little more condensed with 13 personnel. You'll see a lot more of that, which will also aid in his development. And I just feel as if he'll perform so much better within this offense too. So not only will he have that natural growth of projection, but with this new offense, it would also just allow his growth as a offensive tackle, just take it to the next level.
yeah, for sure. I'm excited, man. And there's things that are outside of our powers or controls, but
Mhm.
when it comes to the work and sort of just the playbook, and I mean, that was the first thing he said after he got drafted. All right, send me my book. So we got out there the next day. He was on that laptop the whole flight home. He's on that looking up plays and got to learn this offense and look at this. And, so he's more than he's up for the task for sure. He's ready.
Yeah, I think this offense is gonna definitely let his athleticism show because the thing that I love most about Joshua is how light he is on his feet. And he just moves, he moves kind of like a point guard, honestly, out there, which is crazy for a guy so big. So I do think this offense is gonna cater a lot more to his skill set. He in this whole thing, it revolves around one big piece, and that's Jayden Daniels. How has his how has he described his relationship with Jayden Daniels, and how do you think he's taken on that task of protecting him?
It's a huge task, man. You got, you know, he got his hands full, and he takes that with a lot of pride and honor. This ain't something that he just looks at and takes lightly. So anytime, it goes past him or it doesn't go his way, he beats himself up quite a bit. So I mean, you got a franchise quarterback you're protecting. This ain't no backup and not saying it matters who it is, that you're protecting, but yeah, he got his hands full and he knows it and he takes pride in that. So he's up for the task and they have a solid relationship, they're good. And I think Jayden has been patient with him, but with time that fades away. So it's time to get right and let's get it going.
That's dope, man. Have you gotten a chance to meet Jayden yourself?
Yeah. Solid dude. Yep. LA cat. He's good. I met his pops. He got some family out here in Washington, so I'm cool with them. Yeah, they're solid people, good people.
Yeah, it shows, man. Jayden, we're so blessed. If you know anything about Redskins, Commanders, we've been in quarterback purgatory for a long time. So we're so blessed to have him and your son just getting things back on the right track.
Real quick, now that we're on the topic, I just gotta ask, who was your team growing up?
Now, the Seahawks.
You're a Commanders fan now.
I was gonna
say, the Seahawks.
Home team.
Sean Alexander. Come on, man.
Seahawks. Yeah, we know about quarterbacks too. But when Russell came in and he was doing his thing his rookie year and a couple years after, oh man, fired up. Yeah, I took Joshua to Russell Wilson's camp, and I had a picture. Yeah, I'll man, Seahawks. Yeah. Took Joshua to quite a bit of games, and I'll tell you something funny, man. Seahawks went to the Super Bowl and won this year, and I asked Joshua, Jay, what's up with some tickets? Let's go to the Super Bowl. He's like, Dad, hell no, we ain't going to no. I was like, bro, he's like, Dad, it has changed. I was like, all right, cool. Don't worry about it. I'll just go down. He's like, Dad, you better not go down there. I'm like, all right. Cause it was down in the Bay. So, 2-3 hour flight, you're there. So he was like, nope, you're not going. You're not going to no Super Bowl until I play in it. I'm like, oh man.
I know that's right. Yeah.
I said, hey, you got to respect it. So I said, all right, son, I got you. It's all good.
Oh, you'll be going to the Super Bowl soon.
Yeah, man. Knock on wood. Let's go.
Yes, sir. You be going. You going. That's God's work, man. It's like Bowie Miles. All you got to do is show up.
Yep. He said, Dad, you ain't going until I'm playing in one. I said, all right.
I love that.
Can't wait to run this back. We're going to run back this clip. As soon as we in the Super Bowl 2026, we're going to run this clip back. Say, look, see?
There you go.
Now you're in the Super Bowl. That's love, man. I love to see it. So, yeah, man. So as far as let's train real quick. As far as Josh Jr., right? His, what do you think his long-term goal is after football? Where do his passions lie? What do you think he wants to do after football?
I think with the way he is with his siblings, he'll for sure be a mentor of some sort, and if that goes into coaching or teaching or just running a foundation, he loves the kids, man. He's solid, and he's such a kid around kids. He knows how to have a good time, and they're just drawn to him. His energy is just solid. Everybody's drawn to him, but I think I honestly feel like he'll go into coaching. And if it ain't coaching, it'll be teaching. It'll be something with some type of
mentorship
for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it says a lot, about his impact, right? Because I asked that question because sometimes it's usually just about the player, but overall, it's about the man, right? And the man that he is, but also the man that he's becoming. And I know you being his father, you have such foresight, and it just shows his humility on and off the field. I'm not surprised that he wants to be in some type of mentorship form of any kind. So yeah, man.
Yeah, he has a good role model in you, though, Josh. Seriously, just in the little bit of time we spent talking here and just all of our interactions we've had prior to this, I see that, man. You've done a real good job of instilling that in him, just making him a really good human. Because you mentioned the piece about kids. One thing I've learned around working kids is it's not everybody that they gravitate to. And if your energy is genuine and pure, that's typically the
Mhm.
people they start to pull to. So I see that in you, and you've passed that on so well to your son, man. So kudos to you on that.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to everything that he's gonna do. And that brings me to our one of our closer questions is going to be, if what's one piece of advice you could give the other football dads out there, or even sports dads in general? Because I know you still got a couple little ones. And I've seen your Instagram story. You're always at games. You're always holding it down for the fam. So, what's one advice you can give all the sports dads or future dads out there?
My advice is, first off, just leave it in God's hands. You
Mhm.
know,
Amen.
don't
Yeah.
overdo it, and try not to live through your kids. I
Mhm.
see a lot of parents that do that. Let them sort of figure it out, and uh, it's it's not easy, because you always want to sort of not let your kids make mistakes or go through something that you wouldn't go through.
Right.
Sometimes you just got to let them figure it out,
Mhm.
and it's quite a balance. It's a little tricky, but let them, don't live through them. Let them live their life and figure out what they want to do.
That's beautiful, man. I appreciate that. That's great advice. I'm not a dad yet, but one day when I do get to that point, I hope to be able to embody some of what you've done and instill into my kids all the great things that you're instilling in your kids now, man, because it's phenomenal to see them achieve what they're achieving.
I appreciate that.
For sure, for sure. Well,
Absolutely.
well, to close out, let's just keep it a little light before we close out here. If you had to describe your son in 3 words without using strong, fast, or football, how would you do so?
3 words. Humble,
Mm.
solid, and honorable.
Ooh, humble,
Honorable.
solid, honorable. Those are great. That's
Yeah,
dope.
there it is.
Well, y'all
Josh
heard that.
Conerly Sr.
The man, the myth, the legend. He's gonna be a staple. He's gonna be a staple in DC for a long time to come, y'all. So make sure y'all show some love. We appreciate you so much for spending some time with us today.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys. You guys have a good one. Be safe out here.
You as well, man.
Absolutely. You too, man.
Raise hell, raise hell. Hell to the commanders will prevail. Raise hell, raise hell. Hell to the commanders never fail. From kickoff to the final play, we're here to win, come with me. Together strong.